I saw the numbers the first time on a dull Monday morning, right after Fajr, when the light was still blue and quiet, and the city felt like it was holding its breath. They were on the back of my right hand, small and white, like cold light trapped. Under the skin, 72 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds, 72 hours, neat and sharp, counting down second by second. I rubbed them hard, I washed my hand, I used soap and a rough towel. I even scratched until my skin turned red, but the numbers stayed, calm and steady, ticking down as if they did not care about me at all. I told myself it was a trick of the eye, a reflection, maybe I was tired. But when I stepped into the hallway, my younger sister, Aisha, looked at my hand and froze. "Bye." "What is that?" she asked, her voice very small, so it was not just me. Other people could see it. That made it worse. At work, people stared. One man laughed and said I had downloaded some new filter. But his smile was thin. I could tell he was scared. I opened my phone and typed fast, numbers appearing on hand, counting down. And my screen filled with posts, shaky videos, and messages from accounts I did not know. Some people had numbers like me, some had longer, some had shorter. Some said their numbers appeared last week, some said today, some said their numbers ran out and nothing happened. Others said when it hit 0. There was a knock on the door. 3 knocks, always 3, do not open. One post said, the letters all in caps, do not answer the phone. Do not speak your name, do not say yes. It sounded like a bad urban legend, the kind people send at 2 a.m. But then I saw a live clip from a hospital waiting room, a mother holding her little boy, both with numbers, both crying. The camera shook, the sound was harsh, and then the screen cut out. The comments went wild, and my heart crawled up into my throat. I tried to work, but every time I placed my hand on the desk, the numbers stared at me like a cold eye. 70 hours, 41 minutes and 32 seconds, 72, 41 minutes and 31 seconds. 70 hours, 41 minutes and 30 seconds, the seconds kept dropping. And a small fear kept growing, not fast, not loud, but steady. The way water creeps under a door. On the bus home, I saw more of them. A schoolgirl with 11 hours, 22 minutes and 8 seconds on her wrist. A driver with 178 to 34 to 56, like a bright tattoo, and an old man sleeping, with 0 hours, 0 minutes and 20 seconds blinking on his hand. I watched, unable to look away. 18, 17, 16, at 10, the bus lights flickered, the engine coughed, and the doors hissed shut, even though we were between stops. At 3, the old man opened his eyes, clear and awake, and looked straight at me. As if he had been waiting for this exact second, he smiled. Oh, the bus fell silent. Even the city noise outside went soft. There were no knocks, no screams, no flames. The old man took a long breath, then another, and then he closed his eyes. He did not move again. Someone called for help. Someone else started praying. The driver hit a red button. The bus rolled to the side of the road, and the sirens came, fast, bright, loud. I stood in the cold air, shaking, my hand still counting down, my breath turning white. And I thought, if this is a joke, it is a cruel one, and if it is not, then the world has tilted a bit to the left, and we all kept walking as if the floor was flat. That night I could not sleep. I scrolled and scrolled. I found a thread where people collected rules. Each rule sounded confident, like a friend grabbing your arm in a dark hallway. When you lie, the timer speeds up. When you tell the truth, it slows down. When you help someone, you gain minutes. When you hurt someone, you lose hours. If you answer the door at 0, you do not come back. If you do not answer, it comes through the window. If you speak your full name when it calls, it takes your voice. If you say yes without knowing the question, it takes your time. The comments fought under each rule. Some said it worked, some said it did not. One person wrote, I confessed something to my mother. My timer grew by 13 minutes. Another wrote, I pushed a man in the market. I lost 3 hours. Someone else said, I held the hand of a stranger whose timer was low. We both gained 5 minutes. I stared at my hand. At 65 to 13:51, and I decided to test it. I went to Aisha's room. I knocked softly. She sat up, her hair a mess, her eyes worried. She showed me her own hand. 312 hours, 5 minutes and 32 seconds longer than mine. Thank God, I am sorry, I said. For shouting last night about the charger, it was stupid. I was tired. I hurt your feelings. She blinked, then smiled a little, then said it was okay. It was small. I looked down. 65 hours, 14 minutes and 6 seconds it had gone up. Not much, but up. 15 seconds, like a gift from nowhere. I did more. I texted a friend I had ignored. I paid back a small debt. I replied to an old email with a kind note. Each time the numbers ticked a little slower. Sometimes they grew, sometimes they did not. There was no perfect pattern, but I could feel a shape. Like a door in the dark you can almost see. The next day, outside the pharmacy, I saw a woman crying, holding a paper with test results. Her hand showed 3 hours, 9 minutes and 12 seconds. My heart raced. I offered water. I called her a ride. I stayed until it came. She looked at my hand and touched her chest, as if she could push time back into it. My timer blinked. 62 hours, 0 minutes and 44 seconds gives 62 hours, 1 minute and 2 seconds, a small jump. But real. On the third night, with 27 hours, 38 minutes and 20 seconds left, the city felt strange. The air was heavy. Even the birds were quiet. I sat in the living room with my mother and Aisha. We watched a silly show and laughed at jokes that were not very funny. The screen bright on our faces. I kept my right hand under a cushion, but I could still feel the seconds falling like soft rain. I told them I loved them, and I told the truth about things I was ashamed of. I spoke slow and simple. They listened, we cried, and when we were done, the numbers were 28 hours, 1 minute and 12 seconds. I had gained 20 minutes, and I wanted to scream with relief. But still, the hours were running. I took the day off work. I went to the old side of the city, to the clinic near the railway. I had read a comment about a child there, a boy named Donnie, with a timer that never went above 0 hours, 20 minutes and 0 seconds. No matter what anyone did, I found him in a small bed with stickers on the metal. His mother half asleep in a plastic chair. Her own timer said 144 hours, 22 minutes and 14 seconds. The boy's timer said 0 hours, 7 minutes and 10 seconds, cruel and sharp. I held his hand. His skin was very warm. He had big eyes, calm eyes, that looked at me like I was a window he could see the sky through. I told him a simple story about a kite that did not want to land. I told it in the gentlest words I had. And my time moved. 22 hours, 41 minutes and 55 seconds gives 22 hours, 44 minutes and 3 seconds. The mother woke and smiled and cried at the same time, the way tired people do. She thanked me like I had done something big, but I just sat and told more stories. And we watched the numbers, and we pretended we did not watch them when I left the clinic. The sun was low and sweet. The call to prayer floated over the roofs like a soft rope pulling. The sky I wanted to believe there was a safe path, a list of steps, a way to cheat the clock. But the truth sat heavy in my chest. The clock was not my enemy. The clock was a mirror on the last evening. The clouds gathered and the wind turned dusty. My timer read 3 hours, 12 minutes and 9 seconds. I made tea for my mother. I set Aisha's favorite song on the speaker. I cleaned the table, small things, easy things, and every small kindness gave me a few seconds back, but never enough. When it hit 1 hour, 0 minutes and 0 seconds, I turned off all the lights except one, the soft lamp by the sofa. The house felt like a boat, quiet and moving. My mother kissed my forehead. Aisha hugged me hard. Then they both went to their rooms, not because they wanted to, but because I told them to. I did not want them near the door. At 0 hours, 10 minutes and 0 seconds, I moved a chair to the hallway. Facing the door, I sat, my hands on my knees, the numbers bright on my skin. I thought of the bus, of the old man, of the boy in the clinic, of 1,000 tiny choices, like grains of rice in a bowl. At 0 hours, 1 minute and 0 seconds, the house held its breath. At 0 hours, 0 minutes and 10 seconds, the lamp hummed, the air grew thin. At 0 hours, 0 minutes and 3 seconds, I whispered Bismillah. 0 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds, 3 knocks, soft, polite, like a neighbor asking for sugar. I did not move. My heart beat loud. My mouth was dry, open. A voice said. But it did not come through the door. It came from behind me, from the hallway, from my phone, from the window, from everywhere. Open. It said again, calm and patient, and say your name. I kept my lips closed. The numbers on my hand turned black. I had expected them to vanish, but they did not. They stayed. Black and empty, like burned glass. I will not take you, the voice said after a long time, not angry, just stating a fact. You have not asked me to. It sounded almost respectful. I do not open for thieves, I whispered, not sure if it could hear me. And I will not trade someone else's time for mine. Silence rolled down the hallway like a slow wave. Give, then, the voice said. We accept gifts. My heart jumped. Give to who? I asked, but I knew the answer before I finished the question. I saw the boy's eyes. I saw his mother's hands. The chair scraped the floor as I stood. My legs shaking, I did not open the door. I went to the kitchen and found a pen. I pressed the tip against the black numbers and I wrote on my skin. Simple words, a name, not mine. Donnie. The black numbers blinked. The skin warmed. I smelled rain, though the air was dry, and for one long second the house stretched, as if space itself took a deep breath. Then my timer changed. Empty, no zero, no digits, just a soft glow like a scar that forgot its shape. I felt lightheaded. I sat. The world spun and then steadied. The door stayed closed. No more knocks came. The lamp stayed on. The city outside made its normal night. Sounds again. I slept on the chair, my neck at a bad angle, and woke up to my mother shaking my shoulder, her face wet, Aisha behind her, both smiling and crying and talking too fast. They had numbers, still long, still bright. Life moving forward. The tea tasted perfect, and when I looked at my hand, I saw something new, very small, on the inside of my wrist, almost hidden by a vein. 365 hours, 0 minutes and 0 seconds a year. It blinked once, then stayed, steady and calm. I did not know what it meant. Was it a gift back, a thank you, a new promise? I did not know, but the fear had softened. Not gone, but softened. That afternoon, I went to the clinic with flowers. The hallway smelled like disinfectant and warm blankets. Donnie's mother saw me and pulled me into a hug. Crying, laughing, talking all at once. The boy waved from his bed with a sleepy smile. His timer said 72 hours, 12 minutes and 45 seconds, 3 days more than yesterday. His numbers changed in the night, the nurse said, just like that, and she snapped her fingers. We do not know why, but sometimes life turns. I did not tell them about the voice, or the knocks, or how the house felt like a held breath. I just stood there and thanked God in my heart and said a small prayer that sounded like a promise. Days passed, the city learned to live with the numbers. Some people hid them under bracelets and sleeves. Some people flaunted them like new watches. Some people made up new rules. Some broke them. Lies still cut time. Kindness still stitched it back. Not always, not perfectly, but often enough to matter. Sometimes I still wake at night and think I hear 3 soft knocks. But it is only the pipes, or the wind, or my own memory walking down the hallway in socks. And sometimes, when I am buying fruit or waiting at a signal, I look at a stranger's hand and see a sharp timer, low and fast, and I do one small kind thing, not because it will make my numbers go up, but because the world is a house with a thin door, and we all take turns sitting in front of it. If you are reading this and you see faint light on your skin, now, do not panic, breathe, tell one small truth, help one person without asking why, call someone you should have called long ago, make tea for your mother if you can, make a child laugh if there is a child near you, and when the time comes, if there are knocks, remember you are not a lock, you are a person, and people can choose. The numbers are not here to scare us only. They are here to remind us what time is for, not to count down, but to count worth.